All right, so we officially have our schedule for youth camp. Give me a thumbs up if you can see that. All right, you can see that. So here is our schedule. I am going to go over all the details since youth camp is literally this month, which is really exciting for everybody. So I have night and day schedules. So the first one is obviously a night because we start night. So June 27th is the night, which will be me covering it because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be answering everybody's questions, comments, whatever they have, whatever they're wondering. And what the P7 leader's job is, they are going to be sharing their testimony of what they've seen through doing their P7 club. So the first night we have me, Joel, and Aaliyah. Then the day we have me on the 28th. We have me, Jaden, and Maxton, and I texted this to everybody so they should have it. And then June 28th night, we have me, Micah, and Aaliyah. And then June 29th day, we have me, Joel, and Jaden. And then 29th night, we have me, Micah, and Maxton. I tried to mix everyone around so everybody will get a chance to know each other as we work together. That's my goal of this. And then the 30th, the last day, we will have for the day sessions me, Joel, and Jaden. And then the last night session, we will have me, Aaliyah, and Maxon. Make sure you show up 10 minutes early so I can cover what I'm going to have everybody doing. So show up 10 minutes early prior to prayer, and we'll talk about what we're going to be doing, and we just sit there and wait for people to come. And our goal is to convince people to start P7 clubs because we want to see more P7 clubs in the district. Are there any questions or comments about that?
I think that's a really good plan how you mixed everybody up so that when they're sharing and serving, they're not like consumed. Like you got a good rotational schedule. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Good job.
So everybody gets a turn doing a day and night, and so they all get a turn of knowing each other because I think it's helpful as a P7 leader to know other P7 leaders so you can talk to each other and get to know one another. All right, so now we're going to move on from that, and we'll go on with more announcements later on today. But today we're talking about something really exciting since summer has started for everybody and the school is out. We're going to talk about how to stay connected with your students in the summer because it's really important to understand how are we supposed to stay connected with the students in the summer if we don't meet every week. So we're going to talk about that today. So first of all, a great way to start off staying connected with your students in the summer is as soon as school is out, make sure you have an award ceremony. So I have some examples of what you're honoring an award ceremony. Give them a little certificate with everybody's name on it saying something like certificate of completion of P7 club and then put the school year and then put their name, the certificate that person has completed and passed P7 club and the year. And then at the end, put P7 club and the school's name, the date you made the certificate, and the signage of the leader. If you have multiple leaders can sign them and make sure you give this to all your students, even if they came to one meeting. And then another thing I do is we also give out prizes to those who went above and beyond. We give out prizes like these little trophies here that they really enjoy having. And then we give out like different gift cards like Starbucks, Subway, let's see, McDonald's, Tim Hortons, DQ, stuff like that to help encourage them to work hard in the P7 meetings. And then in their little gift bags, which I have here an example of because we're having this ceremony tomorrow, we give away stuff like, if I can get it out of here, we give away stuff like little devotionals so they can study during the summer. So this is called the Devotion 360, a daily devotion for youth and young adults. So I'm going to give this to each of them. I'm also going to give each of them a little coffee cup so they can continue having coffee. And then when they have their little coffee, they have little verses like always pray and never give up. So those are really great gifts to give out. And then they also have a bunch of candy. And then because I always tell them in P7 to take notes of your daily devotion, I also got them little books and pens with a little verse on them. And the cute little pens here also have I'm not sure if you can see the verses, but they have cute little verses on there. So those are very helpful to encourage students to do better. Oh, 1 minute. Let me see my speaker here. Can you hear me now? One moment, everyone who's watching online, while we figure out this issue. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay, where did it cut out?
That's all right.
All right, so I'm going to continue on where I was at. So we also give away things like these little pens that have verses on them to help them continue their daily devotion and stuff like that. So now let's dig in more ways other than having the award ceremony, which is really important, of fixing and staying with your students. And I'm sorry about the computer problem, everybody, but it is fixed now, so we will continue on with how to stay connected with your students summer. So first I'm going to start off by talking about you should have stuff like bonfires. Get your group together and set a date and say, hey, when would you all like to do a bonfire? And book that with everybody and say, what's the best date for you guys? When would you like to do it? And have a bonfire, meet together, do a Bible devotional, have fun games, have snacks, have pizza, have s'mores. People really like that stuff, especially in Alaska and Yukon. Another way you could stay connected with your students in the summer is invite them to your youth events and church events. Invite them to when your youth has youth group. If they go to church and if it's all right with your pastor, invite them to stuff like youth camp and stuff like that. Invite them to church events. So anytime there's church, be like, come on out to church. Anytime there's a youth night, come on out to church, youth night and stuff like that. Here is a few photos I have of us collabing with our youth group here in Whitehorse. So here we have some photos of us playing Jenga together, playing gun game, playing another game over here. A lot of them enjoyed it when we collabed together, and then we changed it to collabing all year long where I taught the lesson and the students would come. The next thing you could do is have a monthly meeting. Talk to everybody and say, does Tuesdays once a month work for you all? And then book Tuesdays once a month. Book a time with everybody. Talk to everybody and see what time works best for them and then do it. Just have your mindset to, I'm going to have a monthly meeting. So, like, that would have 3 meetings during the summer. And you can just make it fun meetings, like you just have a bonfire or a stakeout where you all go camping together, something like that. And then that would give you 3 meetings a month. And for here in Yukon, it would be 2 meetings a month because we only have a 2 month break. So make sure you have a monthly meeting with them to stay connected or meet at a coffee shop. You could also talk to your youth pastor and ask if you could collab P7 and youth nights together during the summer where the P7 leaders teach a lesson or something and the youth leader leads the games, or the P7 students lead the games and the youth leader does the lesson, something like that. It will be lots of fun and the students will enjoy it. Here are some photos of another collaboration we did. We're playing a balloon game where you have to try and hit the balloon. We're playing Jericho where you have to try not to fall off the chairs. Another balloon game there where you try and leave the balloon in the air. So stuff like that is a lot of fun. Or you can do bonfires too. Or maybe do a potluck once a month with your P7 students. Stuff like that. Another way you could stay connected with them is make a group chat to keep up with each other's lives because you don't want to be like, oh, as soon as summer's over, just as soon as summer starts, forget about them, forget about everything you did for them, but keep in touch with each other's life. Be like, hey, what's up, everyone? How's it going? How's your life? What have you guys been doing? Have you gone anywhere fun? Stuff like that. And you don't just have to talk about Bible stuff. You can talk about stuff you do in your personal lives, like, do you guys do any sports? Been doing any music stuff? Anything like that. And then just talk back and forth all the time between each other. The next thing you can do is have an online Bible study and chats weekly. So talk to everybody, see what date works for them, and do an online Bible study and teach them the Bible, and you learn the Bible together like you do in class. Or you can make videos where you post them online and say, hey guys, I'm going to be posting videos weekly online so you can still get your Bible study even though we may not meet in person. So stuff like that is really great. And it doesn't have to be from the P7 book. You can choose a Pacific Bible study you want to teach them over somewhere, maybe the core Valley Bible study or something like that. The next thing you could do is meet up at a coffee shop or a restaurant. I know this may cost a bit of money, but talk to your youth pastor or something and say, hey, can I help fundraising a bit of money to meet up with my P7 Club once a month at coffee shop and restaurants to buy them food, and we can eat together and have delicious food and learn the Word of God together and catch up with each other's lives of what's going on and stuff like that. It's a really great idea, and I think it will work immensely, especially since people love coffee, food, and donuts. You can go to a donut shop too, which donut shops usually have coffee too, so that's a goodness. So you got food and coffee down if you go to a donut shop. Next thing is encourage your students to do devotionals. Book a meeting where you do devotionals once a week. And encourage your students to read the Bible and pray over the summer because they have more free time then. So why not pray and read the Bible, get to know God better? Next thing is plan fun activities with your P7 students. Maybe do a little outing, maybe go mountain climbing together if your students like that. Plan a fun afternoon where you just go to play games. Plan a barbecue if you're good at making barbecue or anything like that. Plan a bonfire out of town or something, but you'd have to get permission for that, of course. Something fun, or maybe plan a sports game that you all go to play with. Something like that is a really great way to keep up with your students and their lives. And you can even book a time in that fun activity where you sit and talk with each other and get to know about what's going on. All right, let's go to the next one. Here are some photos of us doing that. We're running around playing games together, doing inside games, doing Nerf war, stuff like that. They really like doing. Maybe you can do it out in where you're doing Nerf war in the woods. All right. Before we go on to questions, I am going to cover a few announcements. I know today was a bit quick, but learning how to do it in the summer is a really easy thing to understand. And if there's any ideas you guys have about how you do it in the summer, feel free to share with me. Maybe you guys do something different, or maybe you're trying something different and it works. Tell me, and I want to see what else you guys do. So our next training is going to, remember, it's continuing in the summer. So we have our next training. Let's do, so July 5th, everybody's coming back from camp probably still. So does July 26th work for everybody for our next meeting? Does that work for you, Sister Stacy?
Yep, I'm writing it down on my calendar now, July 26th.
Yeah, and we'll do that at 3 p.m. again, Alaska time, and 4 p.m. Yukon time. It's a bit later because that month is a bit busy with camp and all that stuff coming up. And then, remember, we hope to see all of you guys at youth camp the 27th through the 30th. It's going to be amazing. And we are praying that God is going to call more P7 leaders. And through your testimonies, more P7 leaders are going to come out and start P7 clubs. And then photos and videos are due on Sunday, June 15th. So if you have any testimony videos you want to share, please make sure you turn those videos in and photos in on June 15th. And you cannot turn videos in for the presentation for the P7 booth after June 15th. That is the last official day. And I believe that's all the announcements I have, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all at youth camp. It's going to be exciting. We will also have we got P7 pins that we are going to have there, so that's going to be super exciting. Well, I believe I have a P7 pin in this baggie here that I can show you guys. Give me a moment, let me find it. Ah, here we go. So we are going to be giving, they come in a variety of different colors, but we will be giving these out at youth camp at the P7 booth. So if you want one of these, be sure to come to youth camp and get one of these at the P7 booth. They're going to be amazing. We have about 50 of them, so you got to come as soon as possible to the P7 booth if you want one of those. Now, are there any questions, comments, or concerns? I'll give you guys a few minutes to answer that.
I had a question about you know how you're like leading. I don't know if you got an official position in the district or not, but you're leading the whole district with this P7 club thing, and it's awesome because it's contagious. It's and you're doing a phenomenal job. Like, dude, does the UPCI like pick people for the district for other districts, or are you just like a super awesome, one of a kind, amazing leader that you've adapted this project? I'm blown away by the level of confidence and courage and organization that you're doing for this district by creating more P7 clubs and involving other people to do P7. Like it blows me away. I'm like, how did you do all this? Like, can you tell me more about that? Like, it's really inspiring.
Yeah. So what happens is the UPCI tells the youth presidents to choose somebody to be the P7 club coordinator. And as soon as they choose somebody to be the P7 club coordinator of the district, they have them connect with Brother Seth Boyd, the national P7 person, and he tells you exactly what to do and how to do it and stuff like that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so you actually are recognized by headquarters level then, by an organizational level, and
Yeah.
also you receive training as a leader for the district. Am I getting that right?
Well, not full training. They just tell you, here's what you do, and
That's
basically you get the training by leading a P7 club first. Because when they
that
look for a P7 club coordinator, usually it's a person who already led a P7 club.
that's so cool, man. Like you do it like an absolute pro. If and that is good training. I mean, like I feel edified like all the way around every time you do this. It's impressive. So thank you for doing it. Thank you
Yeah,
for being a brave one to go the long road that you're going and getting us all back on board with you. Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other questions, Sister Stacy?
Nope. I think that one day when Alaska has preaching points all over the place, it's going to be because of this kind of stuff with the young people now. And I just can't wait to see what God's going to do through this ministry.
Thank you. Excited to see you at family camp. All right, that is all for today. So we are going to end off today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm excited again to be seeing you all at family camp and youth camp and to hear your stories of what happened this year. Really quick before we end, I am going to share a testimony that I got from the Ketchikan youth group. Let me just find the text real quick. This is from Brother Jaden, I believe it is, from their group. And I was gonna have him share it because I wanted the youth group to share it, but unfortunately they couldn't make it today, so I'm just gonna share their testimony. So they said, our last month of P7 was great. We had a lot of growth and a lot of visitors too. Honestly, the end of the school year kind of snuck up on us, so we didn't have much planned for our last meeting, but we did have a little celebration. And then I asked him about how many people they had per meeting and how many guests. And he said their average was 7 to 8 people. And one week they had lots of kids from the basketball team come. And the next week they had a few visitors. So that's awesome. That means P7 clubs are not only just reaching random kids that they're friends with, they're also reaching basketball teams and sports teams. We can reach those sports teams just because they're jocks or something like that doesn't mean we shouldn't reach them. We can reach everybody. So that's truly amazing. Sister Stacy, would you like to share a testimony from the P7 club in your
No, I was just cheering you guys all like, yeah, because that's epic, an epic testimony. We've just been making sure that it's still running.
Mhm,
We've not been able to get a consistent enough help to make it like solid. We only
mhm.
have an average of young people that come through back and forth, and so yeah, I wish I knew how to without me actually pulling the load. It's hard for me to get it going and get it stable and get it
Yeah,
consistent. But I guess our praise report would be, hey, we're still here and I'm
yeah.
still showing up to try to make it work. And I haven't shut the idea down. I'm like, well, if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to keep holding on until it does, because I feel like even though it feels like it's not going to have a breakthrough, even though it feels like it's not going to happen like it should, I think that if I stay steady and I keep trying, then it's going to end up working. If I keep training with my helpers and I keep trying to look for more help, then eventually it's going to come together. And yeah, so that's where we're at. We're like, hey, we're still here.
Yeah.
We haven't shut down. And I feel like that's half the battle, is not shutting down on a low period or a struggling season.
Mhm.
So I know it's going to work eventually.
And on. All right, thank you, Sister Stacy, for joining us, and thank you everyone who is going to be watching this later for joining us today. We are excited for youth camp and to see how many people are going to join the P7 story. And we officially have a goal for how many people we are hoping to join the P7 story. So our goal, since we had I think it was 15 at HYC or so that signed up for P7 clubs, our goal is between 20 to 30 people interested in joining the P7 story. So we are super excited to see what happens at youth camp and how many people are called to join P7 Club. And we're excited about this next school year to see what is going to happen and all the amazing testimonies since this end of the school year ended off great with lots of P7 clubs having visitors. Even here in Whitehorse, we had lots of visitors come in at the last minute. I'm like, oh, I better start getting lots of awards so enough can get awards. So we are excited about the next school year and to see all those many students come back the next school year. All right, so that's it for today. I'll see you guys at youth camp and praying for greater things to happen. All right, and remember to turn in your videos and photos. All right, see y'all next time. Bye.